Hey, y'all. Shonda here, ancestral medium and movement healer, and welcome to the Healing Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Shonda Domingo Brown, and I'm bringing you everything healing as a lifestyle, healing while we navigate motherhood, healing while navigating entrepreneurship, healing while navigating life, okay? And so today's episode, I want to bring you guys some tools and some tips when it comes to protecting your energy and protecting your peace and just protecting yourself spiritually when you're traveling. So, I have twin boys, they're 4 years old, and I'm married. And so, my husband loves to road trip. Luckily, he also likes doing all the driving because I am not about that life. We always leave at like 2, 3 in the morning, and we will road trip to Cali. We road trip to Vegas. We love going to Oklahoma City, and different places like that. And so every time we haven't been on a plane yet, not with the boys. And every time we travel, I'm always thinking about, especially as a medium, I'm always thinking, okay, how do I keep us, keep our energy protected? How do I keep us protected? Especially because we are usually in Airbnbs, right? So you have so many people's energy coming and going. So I wanted to share with y'all some of the things that I do to keep our energy and our auras nice and cleansed, keep us nice and protected, so that we can just be, so that we don't have to really be easily shifted by the energy of the Airbnb, by the energy of being in places where there's a lot of people. So we always do like children's museums. We're always at the park. Parks aren't too bad because there's like trees and a lot of greenery that really help absorb all of the energy that goes on. But when we're doing museums and malls and restaurants and all the things with a whole bunch of people, and just going to the Airbnb, I always want to make sure that I have things in place that keep us protected physically and spiritually. So, one of the first things that I do is make sure that I bring crystals. So, the go to crystals that I bring is black tourmaline, or I'll bring selenite, clear quartz, amethyst, and my bonus is labradorite. So I bring black tourmaline because black tourmaline is really great for protection, and it's good for absorbing negative energy, keeping you clear of it. You can also use black obsidian too. Black obsidian is another good one that you can set up in an Airbnb or a hotel room. You can even set it up in your car, honestly, and it keeps you protected from negative energy. That helps absorb and pick up any negative energy that you may be around. So in the car, I get the small black obsidians. I don't do the most, like the little ones you can get from a crystal store for like, $4 or $5. I sell them also online on my website. So I'll put the link to the crystals in the show notes for y'all. But I put a black tourmaline or a black obsidian basically in each those little bottom compartments. I put them in each section of the car doors. And then just for a little added measure, I'll put one in the trunk and one on the dashboard because we have like the little GPS thing. So I can sit one behind the dashboard. And that just kind of creates a nice grid of protection as we travel. And then you can also do selenite. And selenite, they usually look like those long um wand looking crystals. You won't really see them in like a circle or anything. They're usually long. You'll see them in a tower. You might see them kind of crafted as like swords or daggers, but traditionally you'll just see a selenite bar. Okay, and you can do the same thing with your selenite bar. All right, if you're in the car, put them in each corner, get your life. Selenites are really good for straight up clearing out everything, clearing out negative energy, but it also helps promote positivity, and it helps just neutralize your space and leaving it nice and light. Okay. The other crystal is clear quartz. Clear quartz is a master cleanser. Okay, clear quartz is a master cleanser and it also amplifies the energy of the other crystals. So you can always do your clear quartz with your selenite. You can do your clear quartz with your black tourmaline or your black obsidian when you're really trying to get some, heavy energy out of there. Or you can just do the clear quartz by itself. It's a master cleanser. Amethyst is another good one. Amethyst is like a purple color. Amethyst is really good, especially when you're in a car. If you deal with a lot of like anxiety, especially on road trips, any anxiety, any worrying, any fears, any doubts, amethyst is really good for that. And it's also a crystal that's good for protection. So you can rock with your amethyst too. Now, my bonus crystal that I like to use is labradorite. Labradorite is like a cool kind of rainbow metallic-y looking color. Lots of blacks and to me, in my opinion, blacks were like kind of like a opal shiny kind of color with some grays in there. And labradorite is really, really good for travel. It's really good for you aligning with whoever you're supposed to meet along the way. So I actually brought like a labradorite mushroom shaped mushroom that I keep when we do our road trips. I keep it in the little compartment where the sunglasses go. I keep it right there when we're traveling. Now, if you are going through an airport or anything like that, you can easily put your crystals in your carry-on. You can wear any one of those crystals. You can wear it as earrings. You can get you a necklace, right? You can get you a bracelet or a ring. I love getting my crystal jewelry from Etsy because I like the crystal jewelry that is very very dainty, very not super ultra obvious. It just looks like any other jewelry you would get from anywhere else. And don't sleep on Ross and TJ Maxx, y'all, because they starting to come through with the crystal jewelry too. Okay. And so you can set all of that up in your car. Now, if you're traveling, you can also set the crystals up in your hotel room. You would do it just like your car. You can do all four corners, okay, of the room. If you're in a house or in an Airbnb, you want to do the same thing. All four corners, okay, of the home. I usually also like to put no matter what crystal I'm using, I usually always like to put at least a selenite or a clear quartz in the middle of the home to just kind of give the crystals a way to communicate with each other. All right, whether that's in the center of the home on a counter, in the center of the home on a table, or if you don't want to do all four corners, you can at least put your crystal over the door sill, the entryway, okay, of your hotel room or your Airbnb, that front door and that back door. All right, if you're in a hotel room, you can do the front door and the window. Yes. So those are ways you can kind of basically set up a crystal grid for protection. Now, when it comes to clearing your space, right? When in doubt, you can sage it out. Yes, get your whole life. I personally love using Dragon's Blood Sage. Dragon's Blood Sage is it is like an ultimate banisher. Okay. Now, what I always tell people is Dragon Blood Sage is going to get you a clear canvas. Dragon Blood Sage is going to get you a super ultra clear canvas. So it's going to clear out all the good, all the bad, and all the things. So you want to go back behind the dragon's blood. I would suggest that's when you go back with your Palo Santo or your white sage and rosemary, or you light your incense stick with your different blessing incense. That's one way that you can do it. Now I'll do that in the car. But always be careful because I don't want to burn nothing in the car seat, y'all. I didn't. My poor husband, the driver's seat got a little one too. All right, but I mean, I love, it's a great way to keep everything cleansed. Now, when you're traveling in the hotel and even sometimes in the Airbnbs, they don't want you to smoke nothing out, okay? So when that's that, you want to just get you can get a smudge spray. I have my refresh spray that I sell on the website. It's a combination of sage and jasmine and lavender, and it's sprayed over with my intentions for just cleansing, blessing, and protecting whatever space you're in, whether it's your car, your hotel, or your Airbnb. So you can always get a smudge spray, all right? And you can spray the space from the back all the way to the front, keeping the front door and the windows open so you can push out, all right, all of that negative energy. If you're in your car, just roll the windows down, or you can keep the doors open. Give it a nice little clearing spray so you can clear out everything. I always like to use the spray like once I know we are on our way home, I'll do another little spray cleanse just to kind of let us ride and drive back home with like some good energy. I clear out the energy basically from the whole trip, from us getting in the car, getting out the car, toddler meltdowns and all the things. I'll spray it just so we can kind of get settled in and we can just cruise and get back into our own familiar energy on the way back home. All right, so you got your crystals, you got your sage, and your spray. Now, my last two things I want to share with you. The first thing is your herbs. Okay, don't sleep on the power of making sure that you got your herbs in your system when you travel. Okay, so I usually prepare um, a chamomile tea or a lavender tea. Yes, it is for relaxation, but chamomile and lavender also still promotes love and peace and calmness within your spirit. So it's easy to get unsettled when you're out of your routine, when you have to kind of, especially if you're traveling with other families, you're not just on your schedule and y'all flow. Y'all not in y'all house. You're operating in, maybe you're in a different time zone. Maybe now you're operating on a different itinerary, right? You want to keep your herbs in your system to really help navigate your nervous system and your immune system. So teas like chamomile tea and lavender tea are really good for those nervous systems. If you need something stronger, I would suggest lemon balm is another tea that you can make for yourself, another herb that's easy to find and to pack with you to really help you settle. Now, the other teas you can look at when it comes to your herbs are your adaptogens. So you can look at, there's like reishi coffee. Reishi is a good adaptogen. And when I say adaptogen, I mean really giving your immune system a chance to adjust to that different environment. So if you're going to, let's say you're going to Arizona and it's drier out there. I'm in New Orleans, child, but when I go to Florida, that humidity is different. That humidity hit different down there, okay? So you want to incorporate those different adaptogen herbs that allows for you to and allows for your body to adjust. I love Shilajit, which is a powder you can find on Amazon. I like it because it's an adaptogen, but it also includes a lot of antioxidants that can kind of give my body a nice little boost. Ashwagandha is another really, really good adaptogen that you can take to help strengthen all of that. Um, so you want to keep those herbs in your system when it comes to your teas. Now in the morning, I like me a good peppermint tea. Peppermint wakes it up. Peppermint is great for my heart chakra and my solar chakra. It helps open up my senses. I'm getting ready for the day. Let's go. Let's get it. So a good morning tea is a peppermint tea. Now, if you're someone who works with herbs a lot, I will always say think about the intention that you want to have on this trip, right? Is it a trip where your communication is going to be tested? So then maybe you incorporate some herbs in your tea that has some mullein in there. Peppermint is still another good one that allows for some communication. Throw some echinacea in there that's really good for your immune system, but helps really open your throat up so that you can communicate with love, so that you can communicate with clarity. And you're not so busy just keeping your opinions to yourself and you're turning it into resentment. And now you have shifted the whole energy of the trip, right? So you want to be really intentional with letting your herbs keep you grounded so you can enjoy the trip. Letting your herbs keep you grounded so you can be present rather than always just being so antsy, right, about being out of your flow and not knowing what's next. So you can really surrender to the joy that the new experience that you're in is supposed to be. Now, with the herbs, if you want to take it a step further, listen, Linda, I'll take my detox herbs, which means my detoxifying herbs, my cleansing herbs for cleansing negative energy. All right, a lot of times for me that looks like burdock, it looks like sage, It looks like bay leaf, herbs that bay leaf is also really good for protection. And when we road trip, I boil all of the herbs down and I pack them in mason jars, and I'm putting them in the cooler. Okay. So when I get to the Airbnb or I get to the hotel, that's what I wash myself with at home. I make all my body washes with my herbs. And so when I'm traveling, I want to stay up to par. Okay. And so Spirit is reminding me to share, when in doubt, dial soap it out. You can get you some dial soap or some ivory soap, something that's white, something that's pure, that you can speak over when it comes to just cleansing your energy and keeping your aura nice and fresh, if you don't want to do the most like me and boil down your herbs and pack it up with you. All right. But teas for sure, y'all. Tinctures, if you're someone that likes tinctures are when you have soaked your herbs. Okay, you've soaked your herbs for a couple of weeks. Maybe it's in rum, maybe it's in vodka, and it's able to get infused. And that's an easy way to give some vitamins. You can put a few drops under your tongue. I do a respiratory tincture for the boys that has a lot of herbs for opening the heart chakra, but as well as strengthening the lungs. Because when they were younger, we went through a lot of breathing issues with them. I had a lot of heart chakra healing to do on them, and I finally worked it down to a really, really good respiratory tincture that now I just give to them on a daily. And so I always travel with that respiratory tincture. But there's tinctures for everything too, y'all. You can do an elderberry tincture, which is another good one if you want to do an elderberry tea. That's great, great, great for just giving your body and your immune system the antioxidants and the vitamins that it needs. Now, other than your tinctures, what I do for the boys sometimes, I love doing it when we do it together, but we will pick our herbs. I usually do like elderberry and chamomile, or sorry y'all, and mullein. And then what I will do with that is we'll make gummies, because they love gummies, right? So then we call it they nighttime gummies or they big boy gummies. And I also do it with the intention of healing their throat chakras and healing their third eye chakras. And so we, of course, healing their immune system, but we make the gummies, and that's a way where I know they're getting in their vitamins while we're on the road. So I know that their immune system is still being protected while we're traveling. So I'll make the tincture for me. I'll give them a couple drops, but when they on their trip and they, want to do their thing, sometimes they don't like being in their flow. They want to be spontaneous and live in the moment. So the gummies are an easy way for me to make sure that they're still getting in everything they need. All right. And so the last thing that I want to share with y'all. So remember, we got our crystals, we got our sage and our spray, we got our herbal teas or washes or tinctures, all right, that you can use. The last is I always highly encourage a protection oil. What a protection oil does is it allows for you to stay protected from energies that's not yours, and allows for you to maintain the energy that you have so carefully curated for yourself. All right. And you can put this oil, a few drops. If you don't have your own protection oil that's been soaked in herbs or anything like that, you can take just olive oil, y'all. Just get you some olive oil, set your intention over your olive oil, pray over your olive oil. Your words have power. Speak over your olive oil, okay? And then you're going to put a couple of drops on your feet in the morning or at night before you go to bed. You can also put a couple drops on your wrist and behind your ears. Everywhere where you're receiving that energy, right? Your wrist, you're touching people, you're touching things. Behind your ear, you're listening. Now, I usually like to do always the bottom of your feet. Always the bottom of your feet. That's not negotiable. Okay. And then I'll take a few drops and I'll actually just run it up my back and my stomach to where I know that I'm getting all my chakras, all my energy centers that run up my body. Okay. And so remember, y'all, I'll be having protection oil up on the website soon. And if you're in New Orleans, come by the apothecary, make an appointment, and we can customize your protection oil for you. But protection oil is another one that's my non-negotiable when we're traveling. I even get my husband to at least put it on his scalp. Okay, we moving and grooving, stopping at gas stations at 3 o'clock in the morning and all kind of stuff. I want to keep us protected and I want to keep us good so we can really just enjoy ourselves and not be so susceptible to new environments and different energies that we're just not familiar with, you know. So, yeah, y'all, that's what I got. So, when you're traveling, whether it's hotel, Airbnb, you in your car, and these are also things you can do around your home too, just on the daily. All right, get your crystals, get your sage or your smudge spray. I guess you gotta pray too, right? And then get your herbal tea, washes, tinctures, and then your protection oil. I usually also do a self love oil that's on the website too. I put the self love oil first, and then I follow up with the protection oil. So that way, I'm pouring love and light into myself, and then I'm protecting that love and light that I've poured into myself. And that is usually a herbal blend of orange and cinnamon, and I use orange rose petals, clove, things that are really good for love and protection. And then I go ahead and do an extra sealant with that protection oil. So I hope you took away a little 1-2 for when you're traveling. I know summer is almost over and I know back to school is upon us, getting back to work. But these are also things that you can put in your office, in your classrooms, okay, in your workspace. These are things that you can take with you, not just when you're traveling, but when you are moving and shifting in your day-to-day life. All right. Let me know if y'all got any other questions when it comes to anything like this. Send me a message, shoot me a DM, send me an email. And thank you guys for listening. I'll see y'all next time.